missing Caitlin.
JD, is he coming? I didn't have.
JD
there he
is right there.
I didn't have my window up, sorry.
Okay,
All right, kiddos, yeah.
so it is 5:30 exactly. I'll call the meeting to order. And let's do a roll call, and I'll just call you out, and if you can just say present. So I'm Janice Desmond, Chair of the Board. Susan? You're on mute.
Sorry. It's the first time I've been muted all day. I've been on Zoom since 8 o'clock this morning. I am like so zoomed out. I'm Susan Dravich Kelly and I'm here.
Great. Marie?
Marie Fricker, present.
Lori?
Here.
Pat?
Jack Carlton, present.
Janice?
Here, and I do have another meeting at 6 o'clock, so I have to hop off then.
Okay. JD?
JD Miller here.
Leslie?
Here.
And Barbara?
Present.
And Joan?
Present.
And Elaine Shambari?
Here.
Great. Okay. Welcome everyone on this gorgeous, gorgeous day, wasn't it? It was
Yes.
really just spectacular.
Good.
Yummy.
So our first agenda item is to take a look at our minutes from February. I don't know if anyone's had a chance. We'll take a few minutes now just to go through them, see if you have any comments.
It was nice of Laurie to deliver them in PDF format already. I didn't have to do a thing.
Excellent. Okay. If anyone wants to make a motion,
I move that we accept the minutes.
second. Okay, I'm going to do a roll call vote to accept the minutes, which really needs to be done for these virtual meetings. And perhaps we're at the end of them. Okay, so Janice Desmond, I accept the minutes. Yes. Marie Fricker,
Aye.
Laurie Brady,
Yes.
Pat Carlton,
Yes.
Janice Lindblom,
Yes.
JD Miller,
Yes.
Leslie James,
Yes.
Susan Dravich Kelly,
Yes.
and Barbara McFadden.
Oh,
Well,
sure.
we don't do a vote for you. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But we're happy that you take a look at them. Okay, and so, you know, it's just after 5:30, and given that Janice Lindblom has to hop off at 6, do you mind if I jump in front of your director's report, Linda?
Please.
So I just wanted to, yes, JD,
Can I ask one quick question?
of course.
Where are you now?
Where am I?
Where am I? Who?
Yeah. You, Linda.
Linda.
I'm in my new office. I am in
That's
new
my point. First meeting.
Broadcasting live from the new senior center.
Very nice.
Oh. Folks, there's.
I had some thought that maybe I'd unplug and walk around and we could do a virtual tour. But
That would be awesome.
most of you have seen it. Well, maybe at the end.
We've seen it.
It's yeah, it looks so much brighter and I
Yeah,
like
that's an issue.
So Linda, you can
unless
actually
of a map,
walk
we'll
around.
look
You could
at
actually
it.
exercise in your office now rather than being in a closet.
Well, that's true. Well, the office itself, the building, yes, is big. And I'll talk about this in terms of, you know, having to close up the building at night. I mean, it's a big building. Yeah. So I am getting
Yeah.
some exercise.
I bet. So I just wanted to most of you have been updated that I'm going to be moving out of Scituate. And as such, I need to resign my role on the board and as chair. We've had some discussions with amongst ourselves, and JD has, I would agree that he would be able to step back into the role and fill the remainder of my term. So I just wanted to see if there's any discussion around that, or any kind of commentary that anyone would like to make related to that.
So is this like when two people are getting married and the priest is at the front of the church and
Yeah.
says, does anybody object? And then somebody comes running in. So we say,
Now.
wait a minute, Janice, we don't want to accept your resignation.
Well, that's my recommendation. And with that, I would like to nominate JD Miller to move into the chairperson role to fill the remainder of my term.
Second the
the motion.
nomination.
Thank you. And all in favor, I will do by a roll call vote. Janice Desmond, aye. Marie Fricker,
Aye.
Lori Brady,
Aye.
Pat Carlton,
Aye.
Janice Lindblom,
Yes.
Leslie James,
Aye.
Susan Drevich Kelly,
Yes.
Caitlin Coyle. I see you just hopped on. We just had nominated JD Miller to assume the position of chairperson to fill the remainder of my role, and we're taking a roll call vote.
Got it.
Aye.
Got it. Thank-
I'll take that as an aye.
Yes,
And,
aye.
And JD, you should vote.
I appreciate the nomination, and I'm happy to fill in or pick it back up again, I guess. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and with that, Linda, we move to your report.
All right, Janice, well, let me just say, I know it was all too short, but I have so appreciated your help, thus far in all different ways that you have been helping over the last year or two. It's too bad, but I know you'll be visiting and involved a little
I
bit.
definitely will. I want to see this beautiful senior center at its full capacity. Yes.
Well, all the best too for a new home. That's fun. I feel like I'm in a new home, honestly. So it is exciting in that regard. The move was a bit stressful, but it's not like we moved everything out of the old senior center. So we ended up leaving things I thought I would take, like our folding tables and some of the 13 chairs that I did happen to really like, that I had purchased, more recently. But they suspect maybe the senior center will be used for meetings, the old senior center for some meetings for a while until they decide what's to be done with it. So I left them there, and we still have a little cleaning to do, I suppose. But for the most part, I don't know if you can see the boxes. We're all in boxes. I can talk a little bit about that too, in as much as there's still some construction, not so much construction going on, but the punch list items, and there's people doing a little of everything, painting, electric, that we still needed done. The bathroom accessories, things that are still going on and going in. So there's a lot of activity here, actually. So even tomorrow is one of the dates for the AARP tax assistance program, and we'd had to relocate it. It was scheduled for the community building, and then the nurse had scheduled the second dose for the vaccine that Scituate had given out last month. So we had to relocate, and really I didn't think we could come here, and really we couldn't have had seniors coming in with trucks and different, but the AV people are here, so they are going to be in the old senior center tomorrow. So it worked out, it's fine.
So
Did not mind.
they're using the new senior center?
No, they're using the old senior
I
center
see. I see.
for those appointments, and the vaccine appointments are at the community building.
Right. right.
Which, our AARP volunteer, she's fabulous, Maria, and she was willing, anything for the vaccine. So it was a little inconvenient for us, but we did it anyway. So I'll get more to the senior center now, but honest to God, it's been hard to get to anything, as you well know. I'm down 2 staff. We were moving, so we had to pack. And the vaccine, that's all I'm going to say, the vaccine. It's just, it's a little bit of a a time consuming function with no, positive outcome really, because we can't help anybody. The fact that the second dose came around meant that for the 20 odd people, 25 people, I guess we'd made appointments for, most, if not all of those emails were coming to us. We had to still get every one of those people on the phone with their Medicare information, which sometimes takes some time, and remake the second appointment as though it was the first. So for anyone who's gone through this, we had to do the whole thing again with each of them on the phone. So that in itself is time consuming, and that's 25 people of, the 300 that I've had on a list who, again, so far we haven't been able to help with appointments. I did
Can I
just
just
do it.
interject something which may help? So first of all, BI Leahy Clinic is giving out the vaccine. And now I just got a robocall from the CEO of Brigham and Women's, and they are now, and I also got a text message, they are now also able to give the vaccine. So like the Brigham and Women's down in Pembroke and the Leahy Clinic in Plymouth, which is where I went, those are also giving out the vaccine. So just in terms of directing people, they're actually looking for people to take the vaccine.
Oof.
Well, I don't know if that's quite right. I know about that.
Yeah,
Susan.
I think you have to be part of the network.
You
And
do.
you're supposed to be called. You're supposed to be
You're
called.
supposed to
not
be
called.
called by them.
It's a
Right.
bit of a random process. So we have known that, and then the governor took them away, and now nicely enough, they're back, which is great news. What it will do is reduce the list because some people will end up getting called.
Right. That's the only point I'm making, is that hopefully some of those people will be part of those networks and will be able to take
I
advantage
hope
of that.
so.
Because
I
I'll tell
hope
you,
so.
it was an unbelievably easy process
Very good.
after
Yeah.
struggling for.
Well, I'm glad to know that, and yeah, congratulations, good. So, right, it's just been time consuming. So that said, we have made 77 appointments for AARP tax assistance. Now, some of those, and I forget what the percentage might be. Last time I reported, it was maybe 60-40 Scituate folks versus some out of town, just because in past years, of course, Hingham has done it, and many people from Hingham are coming here. Hull people are coming here. They may have gone to Hingham. Marshfield's still doing it, so we're not seeing them, and they can distribute between the two places. But still, it's a great first start, and we do still have appointments left into the beginning of April if there are still folks who want them. As you know, I am filling, and I believe as of this week, and I haven't had it confirmed that he was posting, our HR director was posting our jobs on the town website and then also using Indeed. So the town's website sort of satisfies the internal. We're not obligated to do the internal for a week separately because they're not union positions, but we do have to post them. We do have to collect resumes before I start interviewing. And I mean, I guess I would say within a week's time. I've received a couple from people who've known about it prior, but I haven't moved on those yet until the posting, was official. So we will be doing that for the month anyway. And in fact, I thought I would ask, a couple of members of the board or the chair and vice chair to, participate in the process. It's an important role, and I have a feeling we'll get a lot of response. We'll see if it's out there for long enough. I think.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help out with the interview.
Okay. So a new van driver has been hired, sadly, in the nick of time because, and his name's not Nick, no, it's Michael, but young guy, and we're still trying to pull him through some training that's kind of required, but he went out with Joe Swindler. But anyway, I literally have 3 people out on medical and needed a new driver ASAP. And luckily, found a nice guy. So he is now our only driver, our brand new driver. For the short term anyway, could be, I think we're talking with another person next week. So we may have another person on board, I hope. And for this time, we're still just doing more or less the essential appointments, being supermarket, when we can do it, how we can do it. Out of town medical, which we are diverting a little bit more frequently to Social Community Action Council because of the situation being low on drivers, and lastly, local rides. So, we're doing it. I don't think we're really turning anyone down at this point, but it's been a little hard. There was an article in the Patriot Ledger last week. I don't know if anyone saw it. It came up very quickly. I had a call. I wasn't really ready. It was literally on the heels of the move. with a lot of chaos and construction things still going on. And sort of the sense that, oh, you're opening, you know, your building's done. And so I was maybe trying to temper it. I actually didn't read all of it. I only get the online version. But I did have him call Jim and or one of the select persons. So I know he was also quoted. So I mean, I think it was good news, and it was nice to get that news out there. The newsletter was not sent out to print for March. We just were late and fully intended to do it, but honest to God, you know, 2-3 people here, we just couldn't do it. And I decided with things changing so quickly and nothing really being that new, I was just biding my time. And at this point, I think we'll still do one, I believe, because April might be significant news. And then we'll do another one mid-April for the May, June, you know, and by that time I may really know what we can start to bring into the center. So it was kind of unfortunate, but we just only have so much time. And no one has called missing it, I'm afraid. So, virtually, things remain the same, honestly. Bob Jackman, he was supposed to start a new video 6-week program this week, but we put him off till next week. And for the first time, it was really my fault, just because I really hadn't publicized it yet. So we're going to start that next week. It's on Scituate shipwrecks. And he's very excited about it. The last one was on early Scituate storms, and it was really very good. So I've spoken to him too, and that's going to be a slower process. We may continue with this and possibly one more virtually in some way, shape or form before we bring him in-house for actual, but we'll be talking about that too. Otherwise, I have 2 virtual workshops set up. One was for March 18th, which I may reschedule, and that's an organizing and decluttering downsizing type workshop with a woman named Wendy Oleksiak, who is a realtor, local realtor in town. I thought it was timely because also mentioned in my report is Saturday, March 20th. We helped to organize this shredding dumpster event with Sands and Scituate Community Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So they're doing the bulk of it. They got the dumpster and they've done this before, but we were talking with a shredding company before Jenny left. And so we really did want to be part of it and try to get our seniors who may need some help, you know, doing just that, reducing the paper in their homes and maybe doing a little bit of decluttering if stuff has built up over the year that we've been at home. So it's timely. I just need to get that publicized. So I will say that again, that's Saturday, March 20th at the former MBTA lot across from the train station on New Driftway. That is where it will be set up. Saturday morning, 9 to 12 or 1. We have the shredding guy right now till 1, but I think the dumpster only for a few hours.
And is that March 18th?
March 20th.
Oh, okay. It didn't-
Saturday, March 20th.
And is
And
this the
can you
community
repeat, is it
service
just
or
from
is
9
there
to
a fee?
12, Linda?
Yes.
Just 9 to 12.
9 to 12 is what Sands and Community Christmas are advertising. I right now have the guy till 1. I just don't know if we'll shut it down early or keep him going till 1, which we could do maybe.
Now, is this a community service or do people have to pay?
It is a community service. Yes. There is no charge. We are paying him. We are collectively paying him.
So it's basically people lining up in their cars.
Well, you can bring your paper, which can include paper clips and staples. Those don't have to come out, and even cardboard boxes. But you bring your tote, whatever your container is, and that will get dumped into their tote on the truck, and then you take your container back.
Okay.
So that's how.
So
the
Linda, can I
shredding-
just ask, so it has to be in a tote, not in a plastic bag or something like that? It
You
has
can
to
bring
be-
in a plastic bag. They're going to dump it out of the plastic bag and give you back the plastic bag.
Okay,
And whatever it comes in doesn't matter because they're not going to keep it.
okay.
How are you gonna publicize it, Linda?
Well, at this point, I will put it out on an email. I'll probably do a voice broadcast to a good collection of people from our system. It was in the Mariner, or maybe in Today. Actually, I shouldn't say that, probably in Today.
Yes.
So at this point, that's maybe a flyer at the housing authorities, if I can get that over there.
Good idea.
So that's as much as I can do at this point. I'll
Mhm.
think
Been
of
on
something next
Facebook,
week. If I
too.
think of something next week, I'll do it.
It's been on Facebook.
Good. It has been on Facebook, and I knew Kim was going to do that for Community Christmas. Very good. So it doesn't only have to come through me. Yes, they've been publicizing it as well. And I will ask Seth to put it on cable as a, you know, as a slide, as a flyer, a still. So he can do that.
Will do.
Yeah. I knew you were listening. Thank you. Okay, and another workshop I set up for April with a woman that has been here, has actually been to the senior center before, but this time she'll be remaining in New Mexico, where she works and teaches as a physical therapist.
Wow.
And she will do a finding balance at home workshop, this particular one, preventing the shuffle, improving your balance, which I've scheduled for April 9th. But she's such a great speaker. I have a feeling if I can get this out there and in the next newsletter, you know, people would jump on for that, and maybe we could have it recorded and sent out on YouTube, because she's really good.
Wow.
And always ties in what we do at the senior center that would help with all of the things she's suggesting for, you know, improving people's balance.
You have a time for that?
I do have a time for that, and I believe it's 11 o'clock on April 9th. It's a Friday.
And what did you say her name is?
Her name is Janet Pop. Janet Pop. She is a physical therapist and adjunct professor out in New Mexico. And she grew up in Scituate. Also on February 23rd, myself and two volunteers, Rini Katursky and Ann Mullen, taped, Seth recorded a Zoom session, I guess I would say, with DA Tim Cruz on the grandparent scam and other scams. So it was a little bit of a predetermined questions and things that we could prompt him to talk more about the various scams that are out there, especially this year during COVID and you know, increasing really. And he was very good about covering all the bases and all the various ways people are contacted, what to watch out for, what to do in certain instances. So it actually is really good. It's only a half an hour. So Seth is going to be running that on cable, and we haven't promoted that anywhere yet, because again, it was going to be in the newsletter. So I'll send it out as a YouTube link, and he will be promoting it Monday through Friday. I think he's going to run it at noon and 6 in some upcoming weeks. So it's around for people to see, and I will publicize that in the newsletter as well. Softball, just by the way, our South Shore Senior Softball League is actually recruiting new players for their Sunday morning play. They have filled up their Fridays. They have two sort of tiers of players. So even though it goes from 55 to, you know, however long you want to play, they do separate them. So Sunday morning's a little more competitive. Friday's a little bit, some of the older men that may gravitate towards that. But still, so, you know, they usually field about 90. And so they're looking for, you know, more if people were interested. So publicizing that as well. Transportation, you know, we've been doing it and she's busy, but like I said, one driver. And for February, we actually, you know, 151 drivers. I mean, I'm sorry, 151 rides, or I'm sorry, individuals for rides. Medical out of town at 61, that's a lot. That's a lot. So we could not do that, obviously, if we weren't using Social Community Action Council. Also, and I'm sorry, I meant to include a picture of our new van that's being built.
Oh,
But it is a nice looking van. It's a 10-person with two wheelchair bays, but those can be put down into seats, so it can be a 12-person. We were able to get our logo on it, the phone number. It's all the bells and whistles in the colors. It looks really nice. So I will email you all a picture just so you have it. I meant to do that so I could share the screen.
when do you take
But,
receipt of that?
Sorry?
When do you get it?
Well, not till June and likely the end of June was the target. But that is because they literally are manufacturing it. So as soon as we were able to get the order in, and as you know, we are paying approximately 14,000, which is a percentage matching, so to speak, of the 53,000 that they were supplying through MassDOT through the grant. I will say it cost a little extra to do the logo and something else we got, I think handlebars, something we added. I mean, they suggested it, so we did it.
Linda, I have to hop off, but I just want to say goodbye to Janice and thank her for her short stint. And
Long stint,
But longer
well,
on the
I mean,
board.
as chair, you know,
long stint on the board.
yes.
This is
And
my
I-
second
And
term.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you. Great
All right.
working with you, Janice.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, Janice, take it easy. Hank. All right. Moving on, and I mentioned the shredding dumpster event, which is next in the report. We've continued to do shine appointments by phone. The vaccine inquiries, I've already mentioned how voluminous they are. We also, I'll just continue to mention the project that we did initiate with the high school, which is now being sort of organized, I guess, on their end by the senior class president, so a student. So I do have a volunteer, Ian Vignani, who's helping with that and helping to set that up. And so that'll continue to be ongoing at the high school, at least for the next month. But I did receive some really nice notes that we printed on note cards and some narrative stories and things that we made into a scroll with a ribbon. And so the students could take them. And the students themselves, or at least this young girl, class president, is hoping that we get some response to seniors that we can give out as well. So we'll do that either through email or something, some other way that we think of. So that's been a nice project. That was a little nice aside. And so I can move on to talk a little bit more about the building, if you're ready to hear it. Any questions on that? So furnishings, FF&E, you know, they started their deliveries February 24th, which took a couple of days with what they had, but we do have delays. So we are missing, you know, I mean, I'm not going to say we have half, maybe about half. We're missing, you know, there's chairs, there's tables, there's different things that haven't come in yet. The most disappointing right now is the office furniture that I will just say, you know, was the least custom thing we got, you know, really, it's an office desk. And we got 8 of the same ones for 8 of the various offices, and they came wrong. So I'm at 1/2 of my desk, but there's supposed to be an L, so an extension, and all the extensions came, they were the wrong model. So too thin.
Kidding.
No, I'm not. So it was disappointing and almost felt like we couldn't even move in. It was going to be a last minute change to moving in because we couldn't sit at our desks and they wanted us to use temporary tables, which would have just been awful. So saying that, and I was upset though, because we would have had to change Mike Mincello in IT. He had everything scheduled and you know, the phones were going in and everything else. So they rallied a bit and gave us a somewhat temporary partial setup so that we are here. It's just that we can't unload all our boxes because we don't have all our pieces. And those are delayed a couple of weeks at least because they come from Indiana. So basically it was just a mistake. There was nothing that, you know, there's no reason that it came wrong except that somebody put the wrong pieces in the box. You know, something like that. So that was disappointing. The pool table, however, on a very more positive note, was delivered and assembled and so cool because I was worried about how they were going to get it in and was it going to be too heavy for the elevator and was it going to scratch the stairs? Anyway, it comes in boxes except for the slate, which frankly, I think was in halves. I don't know. It's fascinating.
3
boxes.
3 pieces.
Oh, the slate was in 3 pieces. Oh yes, Leslie was here. So Leslie donated the table, purchased and donated the table through her
Oh,
donation
thank
through
you.
the friends. So we're very happy about that and it's lovely. And anyone who sees it is very just thrilled because it's beautiful. It looks
Good.
great in the room.
Looks good.
Perfect.
And did you stay, Leslie, until they put the slate and the felt down?
I did.
You did.
I
And how
stayed
did-
till the bitter end.
Bitter end.
And how does it look?
It looks good. Yes,
Great.
very happy with it.
Great,
Room is nice. So this
And
particular
I
room,
put all the stuff in the drawers.
great.
Yeah.
You didn't play a game of pool though?
No.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
that's all I'd need is to rip the felt the first thing.
honest to God, that's a scary thing. But it does look beautiful and the drawers are lovely. So the cues and the accessories go in the drawers. There's nothing else on the wall. It looks nice. So in addition to the pool table in that room is that round poker table, card table that we have talked about before. 4 square game tables with 4 chairs at each of those tables. And then 4 comfortable soft seating, which will be arranged in front of the TV display unit. So it's pretty, it's nice. It's pretty full. That's the full room.
Yeah.
It's got everything except for the TV's coming in. I'll get to that. So exercise equipment is pending this month, but to be determined. And I did expect it before this. So because I was kind of disappointed because he almost sounded like it wouldn't maybe be here in March, he got on the phone to the shippers and he got us upgraded for 2 of the pieces to a different piece that was available. So for the treadmill and the elliptical, we went up a model. So I guess that's always good news. So we should get them in March sometime. I haven't heard yet. IT is almost done. We have telephone systems working, much nicer, really well, good telephone system now. Computers are pending. They were supposed to be in this week, but they are a little delayed, but we brought ours. We brought our old ones. 2 new printer copiers. Card access to the building is also pending. I think that is next week, but in the meantime, we have a manual key so we can get in and out of the building and lock up. The audio visual is on site beginning today. So they call it their rough-in. So lots of wires.
Oh, good.
And then they go back and sort of do their thing off-site, and then they come back the week of the 22nd, and they'll start the installations of the display units, the screen, the projector, and the other various items that are the hearing assist system and whatnot. So, I mean, there's a lot that my IT person is involved in as well, because it is involving wireless, it is involving HDMI, access. I assume we'll be able to, this is the point of some of these, we'll be able to show films, movies, stream videos, I believe, that's the idea. Connect with a laptop or mirror from a mobile device like an iPad or an iPhone, all of the things we were doing back at the old one, but now in slightly more sophisticated fashion. So the screen is in the multipurpose room and a projector. The other rooms will have their commercial grade display units. They're not calling them TVs because they're not really smart TVs, but we are getting cable in at least the downstairs, and I'm hoping the game room will be able to have cable. And if we need it elsewhere, we'll get it elsewhere, but we'll see about that. I'm bringing the old TV from the senior center up. Well, I can start now. I couldn't schedule Charlie to move it, who put it in, because they hadn't finished the electrical work here. So I can do that now. So we have a TV already that's coming in for one of the conference rooms, and the sound bar and the Apple TV and the DVD player, all of which Rotary and the friends had bought for us going back 6 years at least, 2015, I believe that was. So that is audio visual. The kitchen, the small wares are pending. I am trying to wrap that up next week for the budget because they really need to know what I'm spending on the kitchen. We did receive some kitchen training, the dishwasher, the stoves, and it was a little stressful because, we don't have a food service kitchen chef manager who would know all this stuff. We're just trying to be acclimated ourselves. They videotaped some of it, just not the stove. They wouldn't allow videotaping, but we got training on the ice machine. That was like 5 minutes of critical training. No, somehow we needed training on the ice machine. Where we do need training, however, and that's coming next week, is the lighting. So interior and exterior lighting. It's a big subject right now. It's a big building. A lot of the lights are on occupancy sensors, sorry. So when I leave tonight and it's dark, as soon as I step out of my office and then into the lobby, it's like the airport. All the lights go on because I've stepped into the room. So now, if I hadn't already checked the upstairs, I would go upstairs and all the lights would go. So we are trying to be sensitive. We've realized maybe pulling down the shades on the side of the building next to the abutters is helping reduce some of the glare of what they're able to see through the windows. There are exit signs that are on all night. There is a stairway that, because of code, needs to remain on. So we're looking into, everything that is on to code, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. and what it needs to do, but, you know, lights are lights. The exterior lights have been looked at as well, and they were well designed, and we were told they had to go off at 9. We're just looking at what the timer is. Do they have to be on all the time? Should they be on only when we have something here at night? But some lights need to be on. People drive into the parking lot and, you know, they would bump into something. They would hit something. It's very dark without any lights. So it's an ongoing, you know, it's an ongoing conversation, I guess. But we are learning about them next week and how to control them a little bit better if we need to. And the fixtures are going in this week for the bathroom, or today, actually. So, you know, questions. I mean, I may not have remembered everything. There's a lot of pieces moving around, but to get back to the idea that we would potentially open the doors April 1st, I will still talk to the health department about what he suggests, recommends, advises us to do or not do. Whether it's strictly related to the size of rooms and the numbers associated with that space, or whether it's just a soft opening for a month and people can come in for appointments, or we could have some small groups, we could do some small tours. I don't know that just yet. And again, that's something we could announce, you know, more broadly. But unofficially, you know, it's looking like we can at least start to have people enter the building and see what comes of that then. I mean, even as of now, as you know, we have exercises happening in the gym. Now, let's say the balance class, which we try to keep to 12, 13 people. That's probably under what it could be, but you know, they get to spread out. It's nice. Well, here, if we brought them into our new exercise room, it would at least have to be half. So maybe it would only be 6 people. So they don't really want to do that. And maybe we'll end up staying in the gym until, you know, it's more to capacity. So we'll have to make those decisions activity by activity, I think. But the fitness room looks great. It's got mirrors. I think I've reported before. It's really nice. It's just, it's not a gym, you know, it's a small room. Originally we thought, sure, 20 people can exercise here easily or do yoga, but they are, you know, side by side. So, so we just have to control the numbers. For things like exercise, it might mean just adding classes as long as the instructors are willing. For other things, we'll just have to see, you know, a class like Bob's, if normally he'd like to get 24 people into the classroom, we either have to put him in the multipurpose room and spread people out more and we can do that number, or do a hybrid model, you know, virtual with some people on site. And that might be something we could do through Zoom. We'll see. Take some thought though. So anybody who wants to talk about it, it will be something to figure out.
Linda, it is so impressive, all these details that you're dealing with, you know, and then you think about a year ago, what it was like, and then a year from now, this will be.
Oh,
all
I
settled.
know. It'll be all settled. I mean, you know, I still envision, gosh, there's just so much that can happen here as long as we have people delivering and helping with activities ongoing. I mean, it's great. I think it will be very popular. I've never doubted that. I haven't moved at all on the food service end because really that almost can't happen until July when the new budget kicks in. So how will, you know, if we're hiring in May or June and they start July 1, or whether we'll be able to do some food service just with staff and volunteers and or pay a consultant through maybe the formula grant, since maybe I have some money, you know, to do a luncheon. If we were to do a luncheon and we paid someone to do that luncheon, or we had a volunteer to help with the luncheon. So we'll be, you know, treading a little bit lightly and softly until we can go full in this summer, I guess, on the food service program. So that will also bring people in, I believe. I know for sure.
Well, it's not really clear right now about the, you know, opening and how many people you really could have, and if you want to be facing people, you know, if you're not vaccinated. So I think until you have clarity, you should.
So I am hoping, yes. So, you know, unfortunately not in time for this meeting, but hopefully I'm talking with Drew tomorrow or Monday soon enough. We are trying to provide Jim and Drew with enough names of people that we really know need assistance with the vaccines. And that's kind of a priority to get through and then move on to this and what we can do here. So.
Right. It's all about the vaccines. Till everybody's vaccinated, life doesn't
No,
really,
it really
Go
is.
forward.
It's
yeah.
still.
So it does
running.
have to remain priority, I think.
So how many
And
people
also, I
have been
hadn't mentioned it.
vaccinated?
Yeah,
What?
no, it's,
What
How
did you
many
say?
people have been vaccinated
I
in
have.
the room?
I have one.
One.
No, two.
Two.
I've had two.
that's great. I mean, that's pretty positive. That's very good. Good. Who hasn't besides me? And Marie, but you have your appointment. So everybody else has.
But Elaine Shambari, have you been vaccinated?
You're on mute, Elaine.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I still need an appointment for Al, Linda.
For Al, I'll write down Al.
I've had
Okay.
both.
So he doesn't go to the same
Okay.
doctor as you?
No, that's my, the oncology unit over at Brigham and Women.
Okay, well, that's great.
Yeah.
They say that early morning, CVS, that's really, you've got
That
to,
should have been true today. Oh, I know,
That's
early,
not
early.
true. I
Friday
was
morning.
told if you
Friday morning,
if you log in at midnight, you can get it.
4:30
I
to
set my
5.
alarm and tried that 2 times, waking up at midnight to go to the CVS. Didn't work.
a lot of
They do
people
it at
do
4:30,
it.
they do it around 5 a.m.
6 a.m.
Oh, now you're
yeah,
saying 5 a.m.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went on at 8 as I was told to do on a Thursday morning this morning, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing.
There's nothing.
Anywhere.
My daughter was on for 3 hours yesterday on the
Oh.
website, and she thought she had something for her father. She had
Yeah.
Danvers and Dartmouth. By the time she finally got to the exact spot to schedule it, it said fully booked. So it's
Yeah.
still
Wow.
very frustrating.
Wow, that is really
Yeah.
interesting, Marie, because
Yeah.
really it's aggravating, but when it first opened in January, that was the case. There were some people who would have gone anywhere and were. I knew
Right.
someone going to Danvers and Pittsfield, and it didn't matter. They just wanted that vaccine. And we were telling people, just wait, it'll come more locally. And we were sort of holding out for what we thought would be Marshfield, and we thought maybe Scituate would have some multiple clinics.
Yeah.
But that only happened for a little bit in Marshfield. We've still encouraged people to wait. And now, unfortunately, it's not happening. And now we're telling people, no, go to Gillette,
Yeah.
go to Danvers, go wherever you can.
Yeah.
If you
So
have that
Linda,
ability.
because you're exposed to people that are older, can't you automatically be qualified to get it?
Well, that's anybody. I mean, I don't know now. Tomorrow's website, the change that they're putting on the mass.gov website means they won't even consider you for an appointment unless you are actually eligible. So whether I think I can fit into the long-term care or the housing stuff, I mean, I know I do, but they don't know I do. And we're not named. So
Wow.
I know.
But if you
It is-
get an appointment, I think, isn't it just
Yes, self-attestation.
yes, self-attestation, yes.
I love that word.
Well, I'm going to keep trying, but like I said, and the second dose for 80 people, in Scituate is tomorrow. So they were lucky to get those. And they are, believe me, that particular demographic population, the 75 and up, they are grateful. They are grateful they're getting it.
So-
It's just a lot more.
So let me just ask, after that 80 tomorrow, is the town of Scituate doing anything?
Well, I won't say no. I don't have really firsthand information on that, I will admit, but I can only say maybe. It's not that they're not trying. I think it's been ongoing that they'd like to help housing just because that's a controlled sort of area that if they could get the vaccines to do that, the state's given leave for them to receive that kind of help from the health departments. So that might still be something that's available. That would reduce our numbers too,
Yeah,
just on the demographic end. And then
Fair
if they could, they would. So yes, if he could get his hands on them, I'm sure he would. I know right now they were trying to get the supply needed for the teachers to do on site. I don't know how that's gone. And many teachers have, I'm sure, gone ahead and done it
Yep.
themselves.
Well,
if they
that's it. Now everybody's competing with all the teachers, so.
Yep. So maybe, the town's been active. It's just not been completely successful in what.
So it's a function of the town doesn't have dosage, right?
That's it. There's no supply to give the towns now.
Yeah,
seems to
their
vary
hands.
a little.
I think the governor's not giving it to the smaller town
Yeah.
clinics.
Right.
But it makes for an inequitable, because some towns have certain health centers that are able to get it and then provide to the town, maybe through the health department. So it's a little misleading how different towns seem able to provide to the community when not all towns can. So
Right.
it really sort of depends on what resources they've had.
Well, I think some towns like Cohasset had pre-registration and they had planned to vaccinate everybody, but then it was taken away.
Right.
So then I know there was a small group who had pre-registered that they were able to give a small number of vaccines to.
And I understand CVS in Cohasset is doing them, so I don't, I
Oh,
didn't hear
really?
that right away, and they're full. Doesn't,
Yeah, they're full.
but I don't know for how many days or how many appointments. I did not get that information, and that's
Yeah.
been my biggest complaint. The first time Marshfield went online, the town got word, I got word, I sent out a broadcast, I called people on the weekend, I got appointments for people. And that was, even the small number still felt good. It was like, okay, this is progress. And now since then, there hasn't been a steady supply, but even when something has gone online, nobody knows. And they're just there out, and we don't know about it. So by the time I get on, it's full.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. Not
Very-
just-
Well, hopefully with all the new vaccines coming out, it'll
No.
start to alleviate.
Setting
All right,
the
let's-
expectation that it's a marathon, it's supposed to be a marathon, not a sprint, but still, you want it.
All right, let's keep
Thank
moving
you.
here. Thank you. Our liaison updates, we'll go right to you, Joan Powers.
Okay, first, we didn't do any Zoom meetings. We got a lot of literature in the mail. And one of the things was a big letter all about supporting the Black Heritage Month in February and about Black Power. So it's all about their policies and all. And then another letter was they did get the vaccines for their staff and the first phase, and then the second one, they got the vaccine for the volunteers. And they're working on their place, they're moving with the construction, the new place on Granite Street. So they're still working on that. One paper that they gave us was on mass home care, and it's FY22, the budget priorities, the main things that they think is critical for home care. And then another one was the home care, home health legislation fact sheet. So about the fact, we got those in the mail. Then they had this pamphlet with the annual report. And that includes the staff, the letter from Sandra, all the volunteers, all the people who have veterans, about the veteran walls, a lot of pictures. And then I was surprised because I didn't know they were going to do this, but they had interviewed me about my volunteering work with the veterans. So they put a picture of me with some of the staff and a nice article.
Oh,
Let's see, can we see? Oh, I can't see it. Isn't that weird? It disappears.
Disappears.
That's it.
Do you have a filter?
Oh, there it-
I put it on Facebook.
The
It's on
magic,
Facebook.
the cloak,
Huh?
the visibility cloak.
Like the Harry Potter cloak, yeah. It
Yeah,
disappeared.
awesome.
But
Well, Joan, congratulations. I know you're everywhere. That's very good.
surprised, but I, was about my work that I've done with them. And that's about it. They're looking forward to working and getting it in their new building because it's gonna be much larger.
Where in Granite Street is it?
I didn't see the address, but it's not far from South Shore Plaza.
Oh, right.
The other side, it's on the other side. I think it was an insurance building or something at one time.
oh, uh-huh.
I haven't been there, but they had talked about it, yeah.
I wonder if it's the fire safety insurance that there was right there on Granite Street for years. Okay, thank you, Joan. Elaine, we'll go to you for FOSS update.
Gotta unmute. Elaine, gotta unmute.
Elaine, we can't hear you.
Thank you, JD. Boss, we have not had any meetings. I've been busy as the treasurer writing checks
Yeah.
for the bookcases in the
Yep.
center. And Leslie had donated her money for the senior center to FOSS, so I had to write the check. Big deal, but it was Leslie's money. So for the pool table, it's all paid for. We also have been, we are sending out today and tomorrow, mailing is going out to all FOSS members with an update from the president and the vice president, that's Sandy Duffy and Pam Davis. And what has been going on with FOSS over the past year, because we haven't done any meetings. Comment as to what we're going to do going forward, because Sandy and Pam are stepping down as president and vice president.
Still.
That's in the mail. Along with that letter are the contents of the Build a Campus letter that had gone out earlier, asking for support, explaining what we were doing, picture of the floor plan, and hopefully generating some donations. So that's all going out. We're all hand addressing them, so it'll be in the mail before the weekend is over. And that's about it for FOSS. Build a Campus, you want me to?
Could I-
Oh, go ahead.
Elaine, is there a timetable for Sandy and Pam?
They were supposed to step down at what should have been our general meeting back in July. But we didn't meet. So they agreed to stay on until we could meet again.
And you haven't been able to do that.
It was just as a statement trying to encourage people to volunteer to run for president and vice president. There haven't been anybody, calling us up and saying, I want to be president. That hasn't happened. So we're hoping that it will.
Right.
As far as Build a Campus is concerned, I don't know. We have gotten some really good response from our first mailing that went out in February. We have generated through that and through other means approximately $170,000 so far, which is really good. There is a second mailing going out to another 1,000 individuals. That will be going out the last week in March, so Holy Week, actually. So we're hoping to get more donations from that mailing as well. And we've been looking at signs to place, plaques to place on the individual rooms, because people have donated to say they were supporting the funding of this particular room, and we're going to put a plaque next to that room somehow. So we're looking into getting those made. We're looking at the same company as the library used. So they would be, we would be able to tailor them, but the company is aware of what, Scituate wants to have looking. We're also looking at a large donation board, you want to call it that, that will be generated similar to the library one. The library has a gorgeous donation board that has a picture of the lighthouse etched onto it. I don't know if anybody has seen that at the library. It is actually very, very breathtaking. So we're looking to do one that incorporates Lawson Tower. We thought that would be appropriate, seeing as how the senior center is looking out the tower. So they're looking at the possibility of doing that and listing the donors on it. It won't be done until after June 1st, because our fundraising event goes until June 1st, and then it will be closed, and then we can just have a list of donors on there that have already donated. I think that's all. We are trying to encourage the veterans to take advantage of the new offices at the senior center. There had been some reluctance to go there, but I think that Gordon has spoken to the American Legion. I don't know if you call the head of the American Legion the president or some other military title, but
Standard.
he's spoken to him, encouraged them all to feel free to join us for anything. I mean, you don't have to go just to see the Veterans Office. You can go to the game room, to the cafe, whatever, you're welcome to. It's not limited. And there've been a couple of questions as to, does a veteran have to be a senior citizen? So no, nobody has to be a senior citizen to go to the senior center. So the fact that they're asking questions is really good.
Okay.
So any questions on all that?
No, sounds good. I know they've been here. They're looking for a wall, an appropriate wall for the donor
Yeah.
board. And,
Yeah.
we'll work it out.
Okay. Is there any old new business that anyone has to raise at this stage?
Hmm.
No.
Does anyone know anyone that might want to run the Friends and likes to do events and fundraise?
It should be a lot easier to run now because
Yeah.
we've done all the major fundraising. We've done all the major events,
Oh.
tournaments and all that, and we don't need to raise the same kind of money.
That's not exactly true. Seriously, we need a good 2 or 3 events a year to maintain money that can help support the senior center ongoing every year. I mean,
That's
the idea
gonna-
for the Friends was not just
That's
to
going
get-
to keep people from volunteering because it's a lot of work.
for the right person that might enjoy it. It should be, well, it's a
Right.
nice.
If there's a right
role.
person out there, they haven't come forward yet. So
Well, and it shouldn't be the choir. I'm not suggesting it should be the choir, the people that are benefiting necessarily always. So I know a lot of work has gone in from all of the people who wanted a senior center, and that work, has been extremely appreciated and, well placed. But yeah, we'd like to pass it on to someone who's willing to just sort of do it.
Elaine, what would you say would be the primary qualities for the person to head up FOSS?
they don't have any written out requirements. I mean, if you want to do it, you can do it, and you're organized, or we'll help you stay organized. Sandy
It's
would be more than willing to help out, but
Yeah.
they do not want the responsibility anymore. And I can't say that I blame them. They've been president for over 5 years. Since before I came to the board. So
Who is they?
Sandy Duffy and Pam Davis, the current president and vice president.
Now, at one time, going back before me, so over 7 years ago, maybe 8, 9 years ago, Pam was on the board. She was on the Council on Aging board. I think
Right.
it was
Yeah.
a couple of years.
Mhm, mhm.
And Sandy's she's been a great event planner. So, event
Right.
planning and enthusiastic about that and organized. Good
Yeah.
idea.
In
we
some
would
ways,
help.
it would be really good if there was a way to write up a little description or something to put it out there for people that are interested in volunteering. I mean, it's a
Well,
purely
probably,
volunteer.
I mean, when
capacity.
they used to have their monthly meetings, it probably, that may have created more involvement and interest. It's hard when you're not meeting and
Mhm.
interacting with everyone. So maybe
But
when
to
the
begin
meetings
to
start
have
up-
those monthly meetings again and have them at the senior center as we
Right.
start to.
That would be fantastic, but we can't do it yet. So
Yep.
But
Oh,
I,
yeah.
but I think Susan is right. I think somebody needs to put together a really appealing resume.
Yep.
Susan, I think you're the perfect person to do it.
Yeah.
She's
I
on
am
her phone.
and we
unmuting
still
myself for
need to
that
have somebody who's
response.
interested. What
How did I know that was coming?
we are encouraging all the members to apply.
Mhm.
Membership that, you know, but certainly you don't need to be a senior to be a member of the Friends of Scituate Seniors.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there are a number of people on there that are not seniors.
The only thing, you know, the one comment I would interject, and thank you, Leslie, because, you know, you can't just say, well, I wish somebody would do this. It needs to be structured in some way. But there are a lot of people out there in the community, particularly because of COVID, people like myself that live alone and are isolated and have not had a lot of socialization. That I have people coming to me, particularly through the grief support group, that are just looking to do something to volunteer. They want to, you know, volunteerism is a pathway to meaning and purpose. And in fact, the 50+ job seekers, I'll put a plug in for that other program, is having a huge, we're having a big panel event on April 8th called Volunteerism is a Pathway to Purpose. And I would welcome anyone who's 50+ to attend.
What
But
time is that on April 9th? What time?
it's on April 8th, and it is at, all of our events are from 10 until 12.
That's
10
a
to
Thursday.
12 noon on Zoom. And I have some fabulous panelists that are going to be attending. But volunteerism is a pathway to purpose. And I think, you know, I'm saying this with all passion and compassion and sincerity that, you know, there are people that want to volunteer. There are people that maybe were event planners as their profession, and now they're retired, but they're looking for something meaningful to do. There are people out in our community that are desperately looking for volunteer activities that will contribute to the community. And so it can't, you know, it has to be a little bit structured. I mean, you have to promote it. You know, if somebody could draw up a description and put it out there on Facebook, on, you know, some of the social media venues.
We do
for
have a
Scituate.
list of what the president and the vice president do. It is not simply event planning.
Sure.
The commitment is for a year. And that's been difficult to get from anybody.
Well, you know what?
I
Maybe
don't
the
think
next.
so.
But I think if you published it, there are a lot of people out there who might be interested who don't even know that the positions exist.
Or don't even know that FOSS exists.
Right.
Let's go to basics.
Right.
Well,
I mean, as
think
a person that moved into town 4 years ago, you know, the only way that I found out about FOSS is because when I stood up and opened my big mouth that I inherited from my dad at the town hall meeting to say, wait a minute. And then the two people that were the president and vice president of FOSS came up to me and said, we want you. Other than that, I wouldn't even know about FOSS
Right.
in the beginning. So.
Well, and that's another way. We try to get people interested. We, you know, Heritage Days, we try to talk to people and get them interested. We haven't been able to do that.
Well, you know what, Elaine, if you can send me some information or connect me.
I
with the
would not be
president.
comfortable sending, I'm going to have Sandy and Pam contact you.
I think maybe a formal meeting, you know, if they want to do their next meeting on Zoom or virtual or in the senior center. I know Sandy's coming back May 8th, something like that from Florida. And then we
Yeah,
could
I'd be happy to
propose
sit
this.
in on that and
Yeah.
help draw up a description and promote it in some way.
Great idea.
I mean,
And that's plenty of time. That's good timing for that. So that would be great.
I'm
Thanks.
just gonna interject here. I also think it's an opportunity for FOSS to reinvent itself.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
You know, the people that have been carrying the banner have gotten to the finish line,
Yeah.
and now there's a
New
whole new
energy.
world. Now it's
New
how
energy.
do we interact with a new senior
Yeah.
community and a new senior center, and
I mean, now
New
we have a place.
activities, new programming. I mean,
it's a time
we've got the space, we've got
possibility
the,
to completely, you know, the slate can be relatively blank, and it's time to, and it can be reinvented. So
I love blank pages.
Can I have something? Linda?
Yes.
I was wondering, would the senior center, would you want an article in the South Shore Senior News about everything that's gone on and FOSS's involvement in helping to get this to happen? Because I could put something on the front page and I would be the
I
person
think-
to write
I
it.
think it's front page material, sure, the new
Wonderful.
senior, I think
Yeah.
so.
Because it's been a long time in coming. It's finally coming to fruition.
Yep.
Maybe do it for like the May issue, the May edition or something.
That's great timing, I think.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That sounds
Nice.
wonderful.
And maybe we can give a lot of credit to Foss too, and all the
Sure.
various things they did to raise money over the years.
That would be very nice. That would be
Yeah.
very nice to do.
Yeah.
All right, Marie, thanks for the offer. That's great. You can
That
let me know
sounds
when
like
you
a
want to.
great idea. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
I
Motion
move that
to
we
adjourn.
adjourn.
Before we
Second
adjourn,
the
I
motion.
want to again repeat, thanks to Janice.
Oh,
No.
thank you.
Yeah.
For your-
Thanks,
your time.
Janice.
Your time and
We'll
your
miss you.
been
We
years.
really will.
I will miss all of you and I wish you all
We
well
wanna-
and
we
I
wanna
hope
wish
to
you
see
well,
you.
Good health in your next adventure, and but we want to thank you for all you've done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure. My
Jumping
pleasure.
right in,
We'll
Janice.
miss
It's been
you.
great. Right from the workforce, right to the board. Right to
I
the board.
know.
You know, I
Okay,
may still need you for memory training, so I'll let you know if I,
that's right. If I remember, I'll do that.
There you go.
I'll remind you. Yeah, it's
I'd
been a
be down
while.
to see your new place sometime. I'd really like to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely. Okay, I'm gonna take a roll call vote for adjournment. Janice Desmond, aye. Marie Fricker,
Aye.
Laurie Brady,
Aye.
Pat Carlton,
Aye.
JD Miller,
Yes, I.
Leslie James,
Aye.
and Susan Dravich Kelly.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. all.
Farewell.
Thank
you.
you.
Farewell, Jan.